In this video, we're gonna take a deep dive into multi-camera editing. We're in DaVinci Resolve and we have a project open. You can download the project files and the media files. If you haven't downloaded the project files and the media files, you can do so now before we go on. And make sure to relink all the files. You'll find a link in the description to all the files. So in this situation, I have loaded my OMO Multicamera edit timeline and I made sure everything has relinked, and make sure you switch to the edit page. Make sure you position yourself at the first frame of shirt sign. Now we're gonna go into the folder OMO interview, and in here we have 3 clips. And the first thing I'm gonna do is click on the clip name and I'll get my clip sorted. Then I'm gonna right click on it and make a new timeline from these clips. I'm gonna name it OMO interview. I'm gonna make sure this one is deselected and I'm gonna hit create. Now it's made a sequence, and because I sorted the clips in the bin, it'll make a sequence in the same order as in the bin. So first of all, I'm gonna move B up to track 2, and I'm gonna do the same thing with the C clip. So your timeline should look like this. We're gonna go and select all the clips in the timeline, and we do that by hitting Command A or Control A. And then I'm gonna go up in the clip menu and select Auto Align Clips. And I could use Waveform. In this case, I know my timecode works across all 3 clips. Hit sync, and what it has done now, it's synced all 3 clips and audio files on top of each other. And now we're able to go to the timeline out in the bin and right click and hit convert timeline to multi-camera clip. And now you can see we converted timeline to a multi-camera clip. All right, we're gonna choose to show full clip audio waveforms. And I'm doing this on a regular clip, so it shows up in my multi-camera clip. If I wanna remove this waveform and hitting the dots, the menu won't show up in here, so you can't remove it or add it once you loaded multi-camera clip. But as soon as you go into a regular clip, just double click again, you can see it and then you can remove it. But in this case, I want it on. I'll show you why in a minute. And here we can see the full interview with waveforms and all the group clips. So you can change the order of the multi-camera clips anytime you like just by hitting this button. But for now, I'm gonna leave it on video 1. We can play the multi-camera clip to check if it's in sync.
Our store in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
And that looks fine. So now what we can do is, just like any other clip, we can make an in and out and edit it into our timeline. I'm just gonna look for where he's answering.
Tell me about yourself and where we are.
And then we can insert this like every other clip in between the other clips in my timeline by hitting F9. And if you don't know the shortcuts, you can use it down here, but it will tell you it's F9. All right, now our multi-camera clip is in the timeline. So what we're gonna do now is quickly edit this piece.
My name is Chris Lang and I'm the founder of Oregon Mountain Outfitters. We are Oregon Mountain Outfitters.
And what I'm doing is I'm just hitting in and outs or setting in and outs, and then I'm hitting Shift Delete to remove the stuff that I don't need. So we're just gonna remove the rest of it, and I'm hitting Shift Delete. So now I got my edits here in the timeline, and as you can see, it's the same clip all the way through. So what I can do is, one way of changing the angle of this multi-camera edit is to right click on it and then choose switch multi-camera edit, and I'm just gonna pick the close-up video 2. And now you can see I can get a much smoother edit because I'm cutting into a close-up. Maybe I'll just edit the first sentence out here. Again, I'll make an in and out. I'll hold Command down to jump to the beginning of the clip. Shift delete to remove the clip. All right, cool. That is actually an okay edit, but what I could do again, I could change my angle to camera 3, or I could go to camera 1, and then when it's natural to camera 3, I can just make an add edit, and then I can switch the angle to camera 2. But again,
And I started printing in my garage and would set up printing in my garage.
after it says garage, I can hit Command B to add an edit, and again switch angle, and then I'm just going to do an in and out to shorten this. All right, cool. You can always make this more perfect if you want to by trimming it. This is just a quick edit to show you how you could edit the multi-camera clip. So you could trim it and just make it flow more even. So it's nice to start the interviewer talking off screen.
My name is Chris Ling, and I'm the founder of Orient.
What I would probably do, I would just remove all this and then maybe trim. Yeah. All right, after you trim the sequence and you're happy with how it looks, it's always good to flatten your sequence. So when you go into color grading, you're not color grading on 4, or in this case, 3 different cameras, and just make it easier to conform or relink to the high-res media. We're gonna get out of trim mode by hitting A, and then we're gonna select all the files that are grouped. That means the video files and the audio files. Then we're gonna right-click on any of the clips and find Flatten Multi-Camera Clips. And now it's just gonna act like a regular clip. So you won't be able to change the angle anymore. So it's always a good idea to duplicate your sequence before you do this action, because you can't undo it. So before we flatten our multi-camera groups in the sequence, we'll make a duplicate of the sequence. Now I'm gonna select all my clips that are in the group, and that means both video and audio files. Right click on it, and then I'm gonna say flatten multicam clips. And I don't have any grades on it, so it doesn't matter which one I choose. And now I'm working without all the groups, so if I right click on it, I'm not able to change the angle. But I can always go back to my copy and re-edit it and switch angle. So that's a simple way of editing an interview where you only have 3 cameras. In part 2, we're going to dive even deeper into the multi-camera editing. So if you like this video, you know what to do. Check out the deep dive part 2 into multi-camera editing.